So let's get straight into it. We got the Arizona Cardinals going against the Las Vegas Raiders. Both teams are coming off of ugly losses. What's up, YouTube? It's all Ross Westside, the home of sports talk. Hit the subscribe button if you're new. Also hit the like button. The Arizona Cardinals find themselves in a very interesting situation, and so do the Las Vegas Raiders. Two teams that are pretty good on paper, but they got beat in week one. The Arizona Cardinals got shellacked by the Kansas City Chiefs 44-21, and then you turn around and look at the Las Vegas Raiders. They lost against the Los Angeles Chargers 24-19, and the main cruxes of that game was for the Las Vegas Raiders was that Derek Carr had those 3 interceptions, took some bad sacks, and they targeted Davante Adams too much. I want to start with Las Vegas Raiders, their keys to victory. Preview prediction time, baby. Let's get into it. So the Las Vegas Raiders lost against Los Angeles Chargers for a plethora of reasons. Reason number one, Davante Adams had 17 targets, while Darren Waller had 6 targets and Hunter Renfrow only had 6 targets as well. And to that I say it's utterly ridiculous. I understand Davante Adams is arguably the best wide receiver in the NFL. But just because you have a shiny new toy does not mean you need to use him the entire game. Josh McDaniels fell into that trap. I get it. You traded for him. He's supposed to be the life changer here. In order for them to win this game, they had to spread the ball out, get the ball to other receivers, and that's what they did late into the game. But early into the game, it was just Davante Adams, Davante Adams, Davante Adams. You have to get the ball out to Darren Waller, who you just paid big money to, and Hunter Renfrow. Also run the football more. Josh Jacobs had 10 carries of 57 yards. That's 5.7 yards a carry. He's a really good, solid running back. You can give him the ball more, and you can take the load off of Derek Carr. Derek Carr was sitting back there a lot of the game, trying to sit back and let those routes develop down the field, and he's getting hit by Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. The same thing will happen against the Arizona Cardinals team, because they have a decent pass rush as well with Marcus Golden and J.J. Watt if he's able to play. The Las Vegas Raiders also have to find a way to keep Kyler Murray in check. Just because they lost 44-21 to the Kansas City Chiefs does not mean that the Arizona Cardinals are any slouch. Their offense is still top tier, and they're going to be without DeAndre Hopkins for another week as he's still serving a suspension. So you want to take advantage of that. So that means this Las Vegas Raiders defense can be a little aggressive by sending Chandler Jones out there and Mad Max Crosby. Mad Max Crosby had a good game last game against the Los Angeles Chargers. He had 10 total tackles, 8 solo tackles, 0 sacks for him, which isn't a horrible thing. He was getting a lot of pressure off the edge towards Justin Herbert, so you want to try to get as much pressure as possible against Kyler Murray and keep him in the pocket as much as possible, because we do know he likes to roll around and scramble around. So the key game plan is to pressure Kyler Murray on all fronts, press up those wide receivers because they are lacking the wide receiver depth. As I said before with the Arizona Cardinals, we're going to say it again. Right now they have Marquise Brown. That's their number one guy. That's the guy they traded for on draft night. And he's no DeAndre Hopkins. There's nothing against Marquise Brown. He has over 1,000 yards in his career for a season, but he's not a game-changing type of receiver like how DeAndre Hopkins is. And that's not a slight against him. That's just how good DeAndre Hopkins is. Obviously, it's going to be very interesting to try to keep James Conner in check as well. Something that the Kansas City Chiefs did an amazing job at. I think the Las Vegas Raiders will do the same, and it's try to stop that run as much as possible and try to stop the run game of James Conner. James Conner is coming off a game where he had 10 carries, 26 yards, and 1 touchdown. He has a nose for the end zone, and he can get crazy because he's one of the best power runners in the NFL. So what the Las Vegas Raiders need to do, limit the targets on Davante Adams, spread the ball out, run the football more, work off of play action, pressure Kyler Murray at times, especially on third down, and try to get some heavy guys up front and try to take the advantage of them not having a big playmaker wide receiver like DeAndre Hopkins, that possession wide receiver. And be careful to let wide receivers get behind you, such as Andy Isabella, Rondale Moore, or even Marquise Brown, because all these guys have hella speed. For the Arizona Cardinals side of things, their keys to victory is protect Kyler Murray at all costs and let him figure things out. Let him scan the field, let him get a clear-cut judgment. Kyler Murray started the game against the Kansas City Chiefs in the worst way. Yes, they were down 14-7 at the time, but he was trying to fight for his life back there. They were pressuring him a lot. They didn't show up in the sack numbers because he only got sacked twice, but they were pressuring him a lot, and the wide receivers are not getting open down the field. Cliff Kingsbury needs to do a better job as to get more wide receivers out in space and try to get some more quick completions for Kyler Murray and get some things going early into the game. Utilize AJ Green and Zach Ertz early because those are your veteran pass catchers, and you need to lean heavy on those guys as DeAndre Hopkins is out. I understand Marquise Brown is scheduled to be the number 1 wide receiver for this team while he is out. That's fine and cool, but you can do a wide receiver by committee type of deal. Try to use Zach Ertz as much as possible. Zach Ertz had 0 catches, 0 targets in the first half against the Kansas City Chiefs. And he only had 2 catches for 14 yards and 1 touchdown in that game. I want to see things get better. Use Zach Ertz more. He's a terrific tight end, and same with AJ Green. AJ Green had a good year last year. Granted, it was when DeAndre Hopkins was on the field, but they have to find a way to get this system right when DeAndre Hopkins is out. It's something that a lot of people have been on Cliff Kingsbury about, and he has to get better with that as a whole. Get James Conner going very early. Obviously, they were down against the Kansas City Chiefs the entire time, so they could not run the football effectively enough. Kyler Murray is at his best when the offense is spread it out and the defense is spread it out. That's when he can get a clear-cut judgment of the field. So try to run the football more. It opens up the read option game, and it can open up some RPOs as well, and try to get this team going. The dink and dunk yards is not going to work for Kyler Murray against his Las Vegas Raiders team because they have a similar offense to what the Kansas City Chiefs have, with a bunch of weapons that can score at will. So you have to be able to keep pace with that. Try to get other people involved on this team besides the key names. And I think we saw that in week 1 with Greg Dortch. Greg Dortch led this team in receiving week 1 with 7 receptions, 63 yards. And that's who Kyler Murray kept going to because he was the most consistent in getting open. So they have to do that and try to get things right on that end for the offensive side. Defensive side, try to get as much pressure as possible on Derek Carr and try to rush the football out of his hands. Do not let the man sit back there, and do not let him try to pick apart your defense, because the thing is with Derek Carr, he will take the defense gives him, and they will try to get Devontae Adams involved. But I do believe that what I saw on week 1 in his film against the Los Angeles Chargers later in the game, Darren Waller will kill you up those seams. So try to protect the seams as much as possible. Put your best corner right now in Byron Murphy on Devontae Adams and hope for the best. Obviously, you want to try to double cover him, and while they're not taking advantage of the other wide receiver matchups, but you do have to watch guys like Hunter Renfrow, as he's an excellent route runner, and you do not want to have a linebacker on him in short yardage situation. The defense, try to play blanket coverage as much as possible against this Las Vegas Raiders team, because if you don't, things will get nasty, and things can get nasty in a hurry for the Arizona Cardinals. Ultimately, I do believe that the Las Vegas Raiders will win this game. I believe that it's too much of a matchup. I think that the Arizona Cardinals missing DeAndre Hopkins hurts the system even more. I don't think that Kyler Murray will be able to overcome all these odds by himself. I think they'll get a lot of pressure on him with Mad Max Crosby and Chandler Jones, and things can get nasty for Kyler Murray and crew. But I do believe this will be a game, and I do think that this game will end 24-14 in favor of the Las Vegas Raiders. Let me know who you have in the comment section below. Do you have the Las Vegas Raiders, or do you have the Arizona Cardinals? If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. If you like the video, please hit the like button. Most importantly, when each and every last one of you guys stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching my video, guys. Peace.